God's prophets in general history, the Queen of Sheba with Solomon, and the Queen of the Amazons with Alexander the Great. This part focuses on the story that the Quran mentions about bringing the throne of Sheba. The Quran, Surat An-Naml, he said, O eminent ones, which of you will bring me her throne before they come to me submitting? An evil from the jinn said, I will bring it to you before you rise from your position, and indeed, I am strong and trustworthy towards him. He who has knowledge of the scripture said, I will bring it to you before your side turns back to you. So, when he saw him standing near him, he said, This is from the bounty of my Lord, that he may try me whether I am grateful or disbelieve. And whoever is grateful, he is grateful only for himself. And whoever is disbelievers, my Lord is rich and generous. The Prophet Solomon had the power to control the jinn. But then he discovered that there was another science more powerful than the jinn, namely the knowledge of the book. Prophet Solomon was struck by a shock of surprise in the story. Here, the question is, who is this man? The story mentions knowledge of a book. What is it? A man who brought the Queen of the Amazons to her throne. Its name, Atropates Persian nobleman. Nothing is known of Atropates' early career, but it is certain that his parents were Zoroastrians, that is, the followers of the teachings of the legendary prophet Zarathustra. This can be inferred from his name. Atarepata, keeper of the fire, was one of the sons of Zarathustra. The family of Atropates must have been rich and influential because their son was satrap of Media. He is a man famous for being the one who brought Amazonian women to Alexander the Great. The historian Arrian, 2nd century AD, they say that Atropates, satrap of Media, sent 100 horsewomen that he called Amazons to Alexander. The women were armed with battle axes and small shields and dressed in the traditional Amazon fashion. It is said that Alexander dismissed this female cavalry, fearing that their presence might incite his Greek and barbarian soldiers to molest them. They also say that Alexander told the warrior women to inform their queen that he would later pay a visit to beget children by her. Ancient historians were influenced by the story of having children and sex. According to the movie Alexander the Great, the Persian nobleman is a pimp for women. But in fact, it has something to do with bringing the queen to Alexander the Great, and this is what we will know now. After the death of Alexander the Great, Atropates he became king of Azerbaijan. However, Atropates' name lives on in the name Azerbaijan, a province in the north of modern Iran. Not to be confused with the country that has the same name. The kingdom of Atropates is currently located in the northwest of Iran, and in the northwest of Iran lies the state of Azerbaijan, the place of residence of the Queen of the Amazons. And in the south is a province with the same name. But in Iran the place of the kingdom of Atropates. What is inside this Iranian Azerbaijan province? Within this kingdom is located the archaeological group called Takhti Suleiman, throne of the Prophet Solomon, on a remote plain surrounded by mountains in West Azerbaijan province in northwestern Iran. Next to the Takht of Solomon there is a prison called the Jinn prison. And near it there is also a mountain called Mount Queen of Sheba, Bilqis. Mentioned in religious books. Takhti Suleiman was the main sanctuary and main site of Zoroastrianism, the Sasanian state religion. This early monotheistic faith had an important influence on Islam and Christianity. The designs of the fire temple and the royal palace, and the general layout of the site, had a strong influence on the development of religious architecture in the Islamic era. And it became a major architectural reference for other cultures in the East and West. The site also has many important symbolic relationships, being associated with beliefs much older than Zoroastrianism as well as important biblical figures and legends. The 10-hectare facility also includes Tepe Masjid, an archaeological mound culturally associated with Zindan Suleiman, the mountain located to the east of Takhti Suleiman, which served as a quarry for the site. Mount Balkis is 7.5 kilometers to the northeast, and contains the remains of a castle from the Sassanid era. Mount Balkis in Solomon's Takht Belkis is located about 5 miles northeast of Takht Soleiman. The highest point of the mountain's double peak rises to about 11,000 feet above sea level. The castle located there dates back to the Sasanian era. Suleiman Prison there is a volcanic crater near Takht Soleiman. It is known as Solomon's Prison, and it contains jinn and evil spirits. In all of these places, Solomon's Castle, Mount Bilqis, and Solomon's Prison, all of these places are located within the kingdom of Atrebates. Zoroastrian religion it is known as Zoroastrianism. And it is one of the Magian religions and no other remains. It is an ancient Iranian dualistic religion and an Asian religious philosophy. It was the official religion of the Achaemenid, Parthian, and Sasanian empires. It is one of the oldest religions in the world, as it appeared in Persia 3,500 years ago. Zoroastrians sanctify fire. This religion belonged to Atrebates, who brought the throne of the Queen of Sheba or the Queen of the Amazons, as mentioned in the Quran. As for the book that was used, it is a book called the Avesta, which is one of the oldest religious books in the world. This religion was hated by the followers of the Abrahamic religion, starting with the Jews or Ionians, which is the name of the Jews. In general history, their homeland is in Anatolia, Turkey, and after them the Muslims who adopted the Jewish doctrine until the present day. The people of the mud are people mentioned in the Quran. They used to carve mountains to be their homes, and they used their plains as their palaces. God sent them a prophet named Salih, but they did not follow him for a message, the prophet named Salah. So, God sent thunderbolts upon them that led to their destruction. The Quran mentions that the people of Aad and the mud were among the first people to be destroyed. He empowered the people of the mud and the Persian Zoroastrian religion. According to the description of the Quran, the place of the people of the mud is located on the Arabian Gulf in a city called Al-Asa. This city is made up of caves dug into the mountain, and the torment was a lightning bolt that struck the caves that had no outlet for the thunderbolt sound, which led to their death. Those in the valley survived as they spread throughout the region, including Iran and Iraq, and among them were also the Phoenicians, who migrated to the eastern Mediterranean coast. Prophet Salah is Hades according to the Greeks. The Greeks or the sons of Hellas have 3 heads of religions: the Greek Zeus, the Egyptian Ammonius, or the prophet Abraham. All of these names are for one person. The second is Poseidon, the god of the seas. He is considered the first of them, and his name in the Quran is Prophet Hud, the prophet of the people of Ad. The third is Hades, the god of the underworld and ghosts. His name in the Quran is Prophet Salah. He is the prophet of the Zoroastrian religion. Hades or Prophet Salah the Greek poet Homer described in the Iliad the place of Hades, which he called the place of the Elysian fields, as a dark, damp, and moldy place inside the earth, and that this place is where spirits live. Therefore, they called it the land of ghosts for the unburied, and that these ghosts asked to return to the living in the form of dreams, and all their demands were burial. Appropriate, on the basis that they died in a place where there was no burial. In the Odyssey, Homer gave a lot of detail in describing the city, mentioning that it was located next to a lake and calling it the Lake of Souls. He mentioned that this city's people were condemned to eternal torment. As for the poet Hesiod, he described the torment that befell the city, saying, it was a place of cosmic meeting of the paths into which the great dome of heaven descended, but from the description we know that it is heavenly torment, and you notice that Hesiod describes the torment as being due to the people of this city. There is still more with the Prophet Solomon and Alexander the Great. Hesham Taher.